Well, welcome volunteers to this annual ESGR training session. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us this weekend. I'm Bob Strange. I'm the Employment Coordinator for Hero to Hire here in Indiana. And unfortunately, I'm not able to be with you this weekend, but I did want to give you an update on the Hero to Hire program. So let's start out with what is the mission of H2H. And as you can see here, it's obvious that we're here to help our unemployed soldiers, service members, and spouses to find meaningful work. And right from the top, I'd like to say what I really try to focus on is not just a job, but a career for our young service members who are currently serving. They have certainly done their part in the last 10 to 12 years. We can certainly do our part by helping them find a career while they continue their career as a part-time soldier. Here in Indiana, we're very fortunate to have some force multipliers in accomplishing this mission. So we have my position from Hero to Hired. We also have Brian Russellberg, who is our Employment Support Specialist with ESGR. And then we have at the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs an Employment Coordinator, as well as a team of 7 people from the National Guard who concentrate on the unemployed soldiers of the Army National Guard and Air National Guard here in Indiana. We also have our friends from Operation Job Ready Vets who do an excellent job in getting our folks transitioned and ready to interview for their civilian careers. And we have folks from Easter SEALs who do the same types of things that we do, as well as all of the Work One offices around the state of Indiana that have DevOps and leavers who help find meaningful employment for our veterans and service members. The average hires in the last 3 months from this team of people has been about 100 a month. So you can see that with the collaborative effort amongst all of the agencies I just mentioned, we're finally beginning to make some inroad on helping our unemployed soldiers, service members, veterans, and spouses find meaningful careers. So what does an employment coordinator do? Well, these are just some of the things that I focus on, and the rest of the teams that I mentioned, we all do this same kind of thing, primarily focusing on helping our soldiers, veterans, and spouses find meaningful jobs out there on the various job boards. The White House has established the E-Benefits Veterans Employment Center as the web-based application for jobs being posted for our veterans, and I'll talk more about that here in just a minute or two. And as you know, we also do employment preparation services and job referral assistance to our folks, as well as I do an awful lot of meetings with employers. As you know, we at ESGR do an excellent job of helping our employers support our Guard and Reserve members. We participate in employer outreach meetings and events, and we invite employers to participate in employer engagement events at local armories and reserve centers. This, I think, is one of the unique things that we do here in Indiana. We all know what job fairs are all about, but quite frankly, I keep hearing from employers that they don't get a lot out of job fairs. What they get more out of is when we invite them into our armories or reserve centers on a drill weekend where they can interview unemployed soldiers and or spouses, and hopefully get some folks that they want to have brought in for interviews. I think this is one of the unique things that we do here in Indiana. We also increase employer awareness of the value of hiring our skilled and trained members of the Guard and Reserve and their spouses. But more importantly, we hone in on educating our employers about the soft skills that our veterans, our service members, and even our spouses bring to the table as far as employment opportunities for employment. And finally, we reach out to the commanders of our reserve units and National Guard units and our service members to ensure that they're all kept informed about H2H, about the National Guard team that works, about Operation Job Ready Vets, and all of the others who work in this arena. So one of the things we do is when we first meet with a service member or a spouse or a veteran is we ask some clarifying questions to help guide us on where we go with that particular service member. So what career or job are they interested in? And then I always ask what their MOS is. What has their military training been? And is that something they want to continue to pursue? Do they want to use that military training in their new civilian career? Or do they want to do something totally different? When I was in the service as a Medical Service Corps officer, we had many of our folks who worked in an Army hospital on the weekend, but did something totally different during the week, non-hospital related. And so many of our service members might want to do that. So then the next question is, what's their dream job? What would they really like to see themselves doing in their civilian careers? And in that regard, what experience do they bring? Do they have any civilian experience? I can always give the example of the last number of years that our National Guard and our reserve members have been mobilized. Take an example of an 18-year-old who graduated from high school, went down and found a recruiter and volunteered to serve in one of our forces. Then 6 years later, they come out at 24 years of age. They're ready to get on with their civilian careers, but guess what? They don't have any civilian experience. And so we need to know that, and what kind of education have they gotten up to this point? And do they need to be counseled to get into more education opportunities? We also help them with resume assistance, how to put on that resume action words and results-oriented experiences that an employer will want to see so that that employer will call them in for an interview. From an interview from a job-looking standpoint, that's what we really want to help them understand is they're not looking for a job right now, they're really looking for an interview that will lead to a job. And in getting ready for that interview, we also talk to them about how to dress for an interview and how to prepare themselves by researching the companies with whom they will be interviewing. So what is the Veteran Employment Center that I referred to earlier? According to the White House, the Veteran Employment Center is the federal government's single authoritative internet source for connecting transitioning active duty service members, reserve component service members, veterans and their families to meaningful career opportunities. For me, it is a job board. It's like all of the other job boards, except I would call it the grandfather of job boards. It has such a reach that it is able to pick up jobs from Indeed.com, from Career Connect Indiana, from a lot of other places, and it's able to put those jobs on its site. The Veteran Employment Center is the result of an interagency effort to improve, simplify, and consolidate the current array of employment resources for veterans. And it complements the transition assistance programs that are provided to our soldiers and spouses. So if we look at the Veterans Employment Center and compare it to the former H2H.jobs site, which you see on the right here, all of the important elements that we had on H2H.jobs are picked up on the Veterans Employment Center. And you can see here that they can simply put in the what column here, what job they're looking for, where that job is, and they can push the search button and a number of jobs will come up. Or they can also use their military occupational code, the MOS, and find something as well. So again, the side-by-side comparison of the tools that we had in H2H.jobs that have been picked up and integrated into the Veterans Employment Center is shown here. Employers also play an important role in the Veterans Employment Center, And we help them. I go out and meet with employers and help them get signed on to the site so that they can get their jobs posted. Or many times I find that the site is so powerful and the scraping that it does every night that their jobs are already available on that site. So in summary then, what we provide from Hero to Hired and through Brian, our employment support specialist, and the other members of the team here in Indiana is a high-touch network of those of us who are helping meet with our soldiers, service members, and veterans and spouses to find that ideal job and hopefully that career. And so this is my contact information. Feel free to email me or telephone me if I can be of help in any way. And again, I thank you for being with us today during this training session. And thanks again.